Hi everybody! If you're already a subscriber, you might have noticed that I enjoy making miniatures and I also like painting. So this video is about painting today. If you're new to my channel, thanks so much for joining, and it would be lovely if you hit subscribe. So, first of all, I'm actually starting with the frames before starting the painting. I've been looking out for pre-loved frames in the shops, and I've decided to buy a collection of them which I plan on painting all the same colour so that they all start to match. So these are the frames that I've collected so far. And also this one, where I can't actually remove the picture, so it will be a case of painting straight onto the board that's already there. As you can see, it was a bit damaged, so I'll paint over that whilst it's still in the frame. But I'm just going to be doing a small painting today. So I'm actually going to be using this canvas paper. I've never used canvas paper before, so I want to see what it's like. I've decided to make a painting to fit in this frame. So first of all, I just need to take these bits off the back, and then I need to remove the back section so that I can measure how much of the canvas paper I need. I really like these plastic tabs on the back of this frame because a lot of frames have little metal tabs that you've got to fold, and I have found that I tend to break those quite easily, so these plastic tabs are a lot better for me. So I measured how big I needed my picture to be and I drew this onto the canvas paper. By the way, although I enjoy painting, I'm certainly not an expert and I'm absolutely open to any advice that anybody could give me. So if you are someone who enjoys painting or has a lot of experience with painting, please do feel free to give me any advice in the comments if you notice anything that I could be doing better. So because I'm working on canvas paper, I decided to get this board so that I could stick the canvas paper down. It had this clip at the top, so initially I did use the clip to attach the piece of paper and it had this band, but I decided that I should tape the paper down instead. Now, I mentioned that I'm not an expert. I have been watching some videos and reading some books to try and find out the best techniques, and my main thing that I would like to learn about is how to prepare the paper or the canvas or whatever I'm working on for the painting. And I also would like to learn about colours. So I decided that I was going to do a bit of underpainting today. By the way, this is my mum's canvas. We decided to paint together. So before we started underpainting, we stuck the canvas down, but I actually think that I'd bought the wrong tape. So this is actually more like a masking tape, but we decided to give it a try anyway. I'd bought this raw sienna primer to do the underpainting. It did have some safety information on it, so please do always read the labels and take notice of them when you're using any paints. So it said to dilute this primer down before using it on your canvas. You'll notice here I've not stuck my canvas down yet. At this point I was still holding it down with the clip, but I do very quickly decide to stick it down because the wet diluted paint on this canvas started to make the canvas crinkle quite quickly. So Mum had already taped hers down. I actually think that Mum had her piece of canvas paper the opposite way round to mine. We both seemed to have a very different texture after we'd finished underpainting. But she also put a lot more paint on when she was doing her underpainting. So it was interesting to see how they both came out. I've also got this canvas pad, but I've not used it yet, and this has got A4 paper in it. I decided to attach a piece of this paper to my board as well, so that I could do the underpainting on this one so that it's prepared for when I do a future painting. I accidentally creased it as I took it out of the pad, but never mind. So I mentioned that this tape maybe wasn't the best one to be using. You will see soon that it definitely wasn't the right one to be using because it started to lift off the board when it was wet. Obviously I've sped this bit of video up, I wasn't painting it that quickly. Mum also prepared this canvas board, so we both had 2 canvases to work on each. Can you see here, so as my paper was drying, it started to lift up and pull away from the tape, so this showed me that I needed to be using a stronger tape for sticking down. So I'd also bought some tape, which I thought was gummed tape for this sort of thing, but when I unravelled it I found that it was actually sticky tape, and I think it might actually be paper parcel tape, but seeing as it was what I had, I decided to give it a go. So I removed this tape. I do think that this tape will be really good for sort of creating straight lines within a painting, so I will save it for that sort of use. So I stuck my 2 pieces of canvas paper down with this tape. I have no idea if it will be easy to remove this tape or not. I hope that it will be. On Mum's piece of canvas, it hadn't pulled away from the masking tape that much, so she did actually leave it with this tape. So once the first layer was dry, it did say to do 2 layers of this primer, but I decided that my second layer would just be the darker areas of my painting. So I go to an art group each week, and this week the theme that we are all going to be following is fish. So I decided that I was going to do the underpainting of the fish at home and then take this board to my art group to do the main bit of the painting there. I really enjoy going to my art group because it's so fantastic to sit with all different artists, and everybody has different experiences of different media, and you really learn from watching and talking to other people. It's also really nice for me to follow a theme each week because I sometimes struggle with deciding what to paint. I find it very difficult when I look at a blank canvas to think, what should I paint on this canvas? I really like still life best, but when I'm using watercolour and pen I like to draw buildings, but I quite often would like to do a painting or a drawing but get stuck because I don't know what to do. I just really find it difficult to think of a theme, so having a syllabus to follow is incredibly helpful. So at the beginning of this video you might have noticed that the title mentions water mixable oil paints. I really feel that oil paint is the media that I am best with. I feel like my outcomes when I do still life paintings have always been best with oil paint, but I really do not enjoy washing my brushes when I've been using oil paint. So I had been watching some videos on YouTube and someone had mentioned that they were using water mixable oil paints, and I'd never heard of them before. So I did some research into them and found that you could wash your brushes when you'd been using these water mixable oil paints. You could wash them with water. And this sounded really good to me. So I had a gift voucher for this art shop and these paints were also in the sale, so I decided to go and buy some. There were a couple of colours missing, so I did have to go back again at a later date. So the colours that I was choosing were all colours from this little book, which my mum bought me for, I don't know if it was Christmas or my birthday, I've had it a little while. And it shows you how to mix all of these different colours, and it says which paints to use. So I've bought the exact same paints that it mentions in this book. I am still missing one of the colours, and also the titanium white I've not got yet. So hopefully it'll come back into stock soon. So for now I have brought with me some acrylic white paint, so I'm hoping that that will go well. So working from the colours in this little book, I mixed my paints together and I started to paint. I'd read online that it's best to paint your darker colours first, so this is how I started. If anyone's got any advice on this, please do let me know in the comments. I really enjoyed colour mixing using my little book for reference, because it meant that I was spending a lot longer thinking about the exact colours that I wanted to paint with. Normally when I'm painting I kind of guess, and I always end up with the colours not being quite right. So I layered the colours up, going in stages from the darkest to the lightest. My art group is about 2 hours long, and this painting probably took me about just over an hour to do. I have shortened it for this video. I did have a little bit of difficulty with making some of the green colours, because the colour that I'm missing at the moment is a yellow, a shade of yellow, and you can see that I have got a yellow there, but that yellow creates a very sort of bright lime green when I mix it, and I wanted more of an emerald green colour. So I do still need that final colour for my collection. So I did want a little bit more green, but never mind. I found that the underpainting was incredibly helpful, because it really made me concentrate on which areas needed to have a darker colour. So I'll definitely be doing underpainting for the rest of my paintings. I used a dry brush here just to try and blend some of the colours together, and I found that the texture of this water mixable oil paint was really good, and I was finding it very easy to wash my brushes, and it also meant that I could dilute the paint down a little bit just by using water. Starting today, I'm actually going to be taking part in a bit of an art challenge that anybody can take part in, that's been run on Instagram by an artist that I follow, who is absolutely incredible. And she's running sort of a challenge where she's setting some prompts, and you basically have to paint from these prompts for the next 3 weeks on each weekday. And I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm hoping that it's a real opportunity for me to refine my painting and to really get used to using these paints, and I just think it'll be very, very fun. If you want me to post videos about this so that you can see my progress, then please do let me know in the comments. I will also be posting on my Instagram, so that's at thelittlemouse'shouse.art. That's my art Instagram. I've got a separate one for my miniatures as well, which is just at thelittlemouse'shouse. So if you do want to watch, then I'll definitely be posting that on my Instagram account, but I'll maybe post some videos on here too. I don't know. Please let me know if it's something that you'd like to watch. I've not sped this video up too much just because I know when I watch painting videos I like to see the whole process and see how the paintings come together. So I hope you don't mind that it's so long. I was looking forward to adding this bit on the fish because I think that adding these white highlights, well, they weren't quite white, but these lighter highlights, I've just thought really made the scales on the fish feel like they were glistening. I also added some details, so after doing this little bit here, I also painted very faintly some of the scales of the fish. Now, something that I do find really difficult when I'm painting is the shadows. So, you will notice at the end of this video that I haven't painted the background or the shadow. Now, I would love some advice on the background and the shadow, because my favourite still life paintings are the ones where they have one colour on the background but with just a little bit of light and shadow. But I'm really nervous to paint the background in because I don't want to ruin my picture. So first of all, I'm unsure of what colour to do the background, and secondly, I'm nervous about doing the shadow, so any advice on how to paint shadows or how to paint the background would be really greatly appreciated. I don't know if I should have actually painted the background before painting the fish, or if this is the correct way around to do it. So yeah, if you have a preference when you're doing some painting, I would love to hear it. Yeah, and any advice would be fab, thank you. So this was what my fish looked like at the end of my art class, and this is still what it looks like now. So the fish is dry and I am ready to do the background and the shadow, but I would just love some advice on it. Thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know if you would like to see some videos as I do my painting for the next 3 weeks. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye bye!